a little bit of trouble finding the zone a bit from both sides, but these are young kids. They might be feeling a little bit of the pressure of the situation here. That's another walk. It's going to walk in a run. Team Black will go up 2-1 here in the fourth inning. So as we have time called, the catcher will go out and talk to his pitcher, just to try and settle him down and make sure he's okay to continue.
Another of Cantwell with a chance to blow this game wide open with the bases loaded. The Great Lakes Canadian.
Cantwell had a walk in his first at-bat, so he is doesn't have an official at-bat yet in this game, so he'll try and see exactly what he can do with this turn at the plate.
Watch that one outside. 2-0. That one's low. So 3-0 now.
Very big hitters count here for Cantwell. He might see a fastball middle here, depending on exactly what McKay wants to do. But again, it's in his favor hitters count.
And he'll put a swing on that one. It's gonna be an awkward play. The third baseman comes over, makes a really nice play at first. It'll score a run, but really, really rangy from Jordan Jacob.
Yeah, that's a great play there. Great range by Jacob coming across the diamond. Uncorks that one in a hurry, and that looks to be the pitch count for McKay. So Team Black scores 2 in the inning and will lead 3-1 heading to the bottom of the fourth inning.
So from one Met to another, the next pitcher is going to be Keegan Russell. We saw have a bit of an adventure in the field earlier. Now going to look to impress with the arm. He'll be pitching to an unfamiliar face. It'll be Joe Godfrey from the Astros, who will be his catcher. So, quick little meeting. Here's what I throw. Here's what I like. Here's what I like called. And then you got to just get going.
Exactly, and then yeah, you just got to be able to potentially get those pitches familiarized and make sure if he does throw an off-speed pitch that you know where it might go and how to get in front of it to block it. So, and that's why you're able to get the warm-up pitches here. So it's going to be a good, so far so good here for this U16 age group all-star game in Dorchester, Ontario at Royal Field, the Field of Dreams they call it. So Joey, your thoughts so far as we've played 3.5 innings of baseball?
It's been a really interesting performance, especially from the pitchers, because a lot of these times they're going full velo, not a lot of control, and that's led to a lot of soft contact, but also a lot of walks. And as we've seen the trend of the game towards the 3 true outcomes, where every at-bat can be a home run, a walk, or a strikeout, these pitchers are definitely pitching to that. And these hitters are definitely swinging away, and that's led to a lot of actually soft contact and even swings and misses. First pitch to Andrade goes for a strike. Russell, definitely a power pitcher. Touches 87 on the gun from that big frame. That one's fouled back into the seats. It'll actually miss the seats, head towards the cornfield.
Andrade's first at bat was E5, a throwing error from the third baseman, then was a 2-3 putout as the catcher was up the line and was able to give it to the first baseman as he tried to make a move for second on that overthrow.
0-2. Misses low. 1-2. Andrade would love to make contact here, show his speed some more. He does right there, liner up the middle, base hit. Right back at the pitcher.
A solid piece of contact for Andrade there as he put it right back from where it came from. So now leadoff batter is aboard for Team White, and see what kind of damage they can do here with Quinn Carson coming up for his second at-bat of the ball game.
Couldn't do that contact any better. Textbook base hit. Carson, the outfielder, watch this strike. Flew out his last time up. Watch the first two for strikes. 0-2.
Come on, Quinn.
Count now. Hit and run, and it works to perfection up the left field line. He's on the move, he's gonna head home. The throw from third is right on line, and they got him! Great relay. Andrade nailed it home.
We get a replay of that. That was a nice hit and run play put on by Team White. Paints the line, and you see the third base coach just waving him around hard. That relay throw in, and just gets the ball in, covers the plate, does the catcher, and gets him tagged out at the plate. So that'll be a nice put out there, but a double for Quinn Carson as he's now in scoring position.
I believe that was Chung in left field making that nice throw. And then Cantwell from third, finishing the relay. Cantwell with another chance to make a play here. Hard throw to first. And they're gonna call out on the tag there. Good effort from Jordan Jacob, but doesn't quite get in there.
That's a chopper there. And another high throw to first base from across the diamond. He tries to avoid the tag.
Oh, he missed the base. That's what the umpire called. Because I don't think he ever made contact until here. He never tagged him.
Didn't see a tag there on the replay, so they might have gotten lucky. Team Black did on that one. But nonetheless, it's going to be Stephen Waters up at the plate now.
Waters, one of the fastest catchers in the nation. And they're going to go off the pass ball. The throw over is not in time. Good run in there from the, I believe, from the Fieldhouse Pirate, Quinn Carson. So tough break there for Troye. The 1-1. That one's skied foul. The 1-2. That one's hit hard in left field, and that's going to get down out there, and that'll be another RBI for a double. So they're hitting him hard right now. Keegan Russell, he's got that velo, but that velo's getting tanked right now.
That ball was tattooed into left field, gets down, one hops to the wall, and an RBI double there for Waters, as now it is going to be a 3-2 ball game there. Team White is coming in within one run here.
So that'll bring up Jackson along again. And that one also gets away from the catcher. Joe Godfrey, the catcher, has had a really troubling inning here.
Yeah, he didn't get his body in front of it. He just tried to backhand it with the glove there. You might want to see him try and move in, get the body in front of it, smother it to keep it down in the ground so it's not going to bounce to the backstop and let the runner move up 90 feet.
Now outside. Still 2 outs, so you can get out of this right here with no further damage. And that'll be a swing. 1-1 now. 2-1, sorry. Pitch from Russell in there for a strike. 2-2 now.
Nice curveball, looked like just catching the inside corner of the plate there. Even count at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Now. Fouled back at the screen, keep the at-bat and inning alive. Count is full for Long. Long versus Russell here. And to the watch, I thought he said the count was full. The count was not full. The count is full now.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. That runner from third might be just on the move, just to kind of throw things off here. Make sure he can score if the ball is hit.
That is hit. It's hit hard to right field. Could be trouble for the right fielder, and it's over his head. Did not take a great route to the ball, and that's going to be at least 2. He's going to go for 3, and the throw in is going to be not in time. An RBI triple for Jackson Long.
Yeah, stand-up triple, and that is the end of the inning as the pitch count has been reached. And so to end that inning, it was Jackson Long with the RBI triple, and this game is tied at 3 heading into the top half of the 5th inning.
And it was hard hit, but you'd really like Chris Troyer to take a better route to that ball. He settled under it way too early, and it went over his head. Carter Dorrington's going to be the new pitcher from the Pirates organization. That Pirates organization has put a lot of pitchers into this All-Star game. So it is 3-3, heading to the top of the 5th. Carter Dorrington from Ancaster, Ontario. His velo isn't quite as high as everyone else's, but he still throws that breaking ball with some velocity, gets a lot of swings and misses, but most of all, misses the barrel. He gets a lot of soft contact, a lot of ground balls. So the batters really got to tee up on these balls. They can't assume a barrel, they've got to force a barrel.
Exactly right. These hitters got to be patient in the box here. It's going to be Keegan Russell, number 77 for the Mets organization, going to lead off for Team Black here in the top half of the 5th inning. And again, want to mention that it's going to be a 10-inning ball game here for these teams, as each team has 10 pitchers on their roster that they want to be able to give an inning here. So it's definitely going to be something that these guys are going to, a little different. They're used to the 7 or the 9 inning games, but they'll have that extra inning just to give those guys a shot at showing what they got for the scouts in the stands.
First pitch to Russell is low. Russell just came off the mound. He's going to go straight to the batter's box. Watch the strike. And it's nice to see Philip Chong still in the game, by the way. He was in left field that last inning. We thought he was done for the night in the first inning when he stumbled out of the box. So nice to see him back out there, and we just saw him go collect the foul ball.
Exactly. It's good to see it. Probably maybe just a cramp as he on the swing there. So good to see that he's, like you mentioned, still being able to be in the game here.
Well, and I saw Chong when he walked over to get the ball. He dutifully tiptoed around the Great Lakes Canadiens logo back there.
Yep, show of respect there. You never want to walk across a logo.
Now it's fouled into the field by Russell. believe Russell struck out his last time out.
Strikeout looking his last time at the plate.
I believe he was one of Sam Watson's victims. Sorry, Sam McKay's victims. And that one will be his second strikeout of the game.
Foul tipped into the catcher's mitt for strike 3. First out here for Team White, as now it's going to be Liam Kirsch, number 15 of the Blue Jays roster, at bat for Team Black.
One of their catchers. They roster 4 and they rotate them. This Blue Jays organization really focuses on speed. There's not a player here wearing a Blue Jays jersey that's not one of the fastest kids I've ever seen. Watch that one for ball.
And just below the knees, as we saw the catcher try and bring that pitch up, frame it a bit, but just below the knees. So called the ball by the home plate umpire.
That one's grounded to first. It's a good stop there by the first baseman. Oh, what is this?
What?
Are you kidding me?
What a diving play by the first baseman there. Knew he would not be able to get back up to his feet as we see the replay. Dives, keeps that ball in front of him. Wherewithal to throw to the second baseman, who then throws to the pitcher covering. What a play there. An unconventional putout, but it's a 3-4-1 putout at first base.
That's a new one. And again, what I mentioned earlier, it's always something when you make a play, you look over at the scouts table and they're all writing notes.
Yeah, that is what they call a red star play. You put that one in the book.
That one's a base hit for Folds. I believe that's the first hit of the game for Great Lakes Canadian. Showing up for the home fans.
Now batting from the Ontario Astros, number 55, Joe Godfrey.
That'll wrap Joe Godfrey. The catcher did not have a great defensive inning, but you make them forget about all that with a good hit here. Wanted it, let it go. Strike 1.
There you go, boss. There you go, kid. Come on.
Giancarlo Sortino, the speedster, on deck. So you really want to keep this inning alive right now. The 2-2. Strike 3, got him. Good inning of pitching there from the Fieldhouse Pirate. Carter Dorrington showing out.
Yeah, good showing for the Team White defense there. That strikeout looking there, but the play I want to go back to is that 3-4-1 putout. That was just something spectacular that you see not very often in the game of baseball, but just the wherewithal that the first baseman had there in order to know, okay, I dove, I made the play to keep the ball in the infield, but I'm not going to be able to get back into a throwing position myself to make the play, so I'll throw it to the second baseman who's over by coming in to back up. We get another look at it here. Again, dives, makes the play. Second baseman's right there, gives it, and then the quick play, get him by about a step, maybe a half a step at the least there. But we got some great plays here, and now we got a Windsor Select, I believe, on the mound.
Yep, Keegan Bassinet. And just before we move on from that play, I want to talk about first, like obviously a lot of the credit's gonna go to Michael Grigas for that dive and stop there, but also really good baseball IQ there from Tyson Moran, the second baseman, to realize what was going on and execute right away.
Most definitely, he got into a spot that would put himself in the position to receive that quick toss from the first baseman and then be in a good position to throw over to the pitcher covering first base. Just all three players on that play, good heads-up baseball IQ there to make sure that they were still able to record the out at first base.
Yeah, it's Keegan Bassinet, the pitcher, number 14 from the Windsor Selects. Not a ton of Windsor Selects in this game, but he's definitely one of their better players, probably their best pitcher. And Michael Grigas will take the take his swings here after making that great diving play. This could be a great showcase for Grigas if he can get on here. Fouls out and back on the check swing. And it's actually Grigas and Moran do up 1-2 this inning, so both will get a chance to show out here. Yo, one from Bazinet. Runs it 0-2. Good little inside pitch there.
Yeah, we saw Grigas there kind of turn away from it, but catches the inside portion of the plate, rather, and gets the call. It's 0-2.
That one's chopped to second. Should be an easy play for the two Mets over there, and it will be. First out. And the play's dead, but Keegan Russell just threw that one to left field, which can't feel great.
From the Ontario Nationals, number
Yeah,
17,
exactly. Going to throw around the horn as you see the replay there. Chop to second. Easy throw to first, and then they were trying to throw around the horn, and the ball goes into left field nonetheless. It's back to the pitcher. We're ready to go. It's going to be Tyson Morgan up to the plate for Team White.
Tyson Moran, who just made that great play at second base, the heads-up baseball IQ play, all those keywords the scouts like to see. They also like the word hit, so let's see if he can provide there. Lined up the middle, base hit. Moran is having a great little night for himself. The only Ontario national in the building. He's representing well.
Now batting.
Yeah, nice IQ there. Eye at the plate, able to square that ball up and send it right back up the middle for a base hit. He now would be 1 for 1 on the day, as his first plate appearance was a walk.
Bryce Cross now up with the runner on first. Inside for ball. They're going to go back to first, and he's in there. Good thought by the catcher. Moran was straying a little bit too far on that bounce pitch. And maybe with a better tag, they could have got him. But a good slide there by Moran.
Yeah, he did all he could to stay in a pickoff attempt there. Moran back easily here. We got to look at the pickoff as Moran very far off the bag. He's in.
Good little swim slide there. Again, a better tag from Russell probably would have got him, but good play nonetheless. Heads up play by the catcher as well. I believe that's Liam Kirsch back there right now. That's high. They're going to go back. No, they just a little fake out, keep them honest. We go to 3-0.
Good eye by Cross here at the plate, as a couple maybe a designed pitch out there. Just as Moran's straying far and further away from first base.
Watch a strike one, so 3-1 now.
Still a hitter's count for Cross here, 3-1, so he doesn't have to start panicking yet at the plate. If he sees a pitch he likes to drive, he'll swing at it, but if not, he'll look for ball 4.
And he sees ball 4. So maybe Moran doing his little tap dancing routine sort of ruined Bazinet's command that at bat, so he's got to settle in, and his catcher's going to go and talk to Liam Kirsch right now.
Canadians, number 18, Vaughn McGinn.
And now I'll bring up McGinn. McGinn, I believe 1 for 1 on the day so far.
Doesn't have an official at bat. His first plate appearance was a walk, and then he was stranded at second on the play because of pitch count.
So we'll be looking to get back there with some more pitches left to work with. They're going to go back to first. And again, the throw is great. A good slide at first. Gets under the tag.
Team White here getting very aggressive leads on the base paths, causing Team Black to focus a bit more on them than they had earlier on in the game.
And that's a dribbler will get through. Good hit there. Moran's going to come around to score. The throw in is quite a bit up the line. And there's another run. Good bit of base running there from Moran.
Now batting from the
And a nice little poke there from
number
McGinn
4, Robert
in
O'Meara.
between the first base and second base.
Come on, Robert.
So now he makes himself 1 for 1 on the night, as that poke just through the infield scores a run, and it's going to be 4-3 in favor of Team White here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Robert Amity next up, youngest player in the game. 06-14-2008, but he's playing up with the 16Us. Because he's got that bat. We're going to show it off here. Strike 2. Runners on dance a little bit, but Basnet's starting to be able to tune them out a little bit more.
Yeah, you focus at the on the batter here. You're up 0-2. The runners are going to obviously do what they can to try and disrupt the timing of the pitcher, but he seems to be settling in here and making some good pitches.
Oh, he goes down, hits it Vladdy Guerrero style, and that's going to be another run. Throw is going to be cut off, and a nice piece of hitting there from the youngster Amity.
Baseball, number 2, Jack Perry.
Nice RBI single there for Amity there. He rectifies a strikeout in his first at-bat in the 3rd inning, and with an RBI single here in the 5th.
Jack Perry up now. And with runners on the corners and Basnet really not looking that comfortable up there. Great opportunity to do some damage. Up the middle. This could be 2 to second for 1, on to first, and they get the double play. And they get out of the inning, but the damage is done. This Team White leads at 5-3.
2 runs with a couple of runners left on here in the inning. We got to look at that play. Ground ball up the middle. Second baseman ranges over, flip to the shortstop at second, on to first for the inning-ending double play. But as mentioned, Joey, they do get 2 runs on a couple of RBI singles and take a 5-3 lead going into the top of the 6th inning.
Cole Zazel will be the next pitcher from the Ontario Blue Jays organization.
Tokyo nights, we were so out of place. We fall asleep in my car, the songs that all sound the same. I wanna go.
Likes to throw a lot of different pitches. He'll be facing a pretty scary lineup ahead of him. You got Sortino, then you got Hughes, then you got Alt. None of them are that fun to deal with.
McDonough in there before Alt there. After Hughes would be McDonough in the lineup there. But nonetheless, it's the 3 of the first 4 hitters are scary ones that you don't want to potentially have to deal with. And so in the 3rd inning here, the leadoff batter Giancarlo Sortino, he walked and ended up coming around to score. And then McDonough hit that ball to the gap, and he was put out on that relay play at 3rd base, which scored. That's the one that scored Sorrentino. And then Alt with a base hit. Hughes, he struck out looking in the 3rd inning. So those are what the first 4 batters for Team Black have done so far in their first plate appearances in this ball game, Joey.
Zalzal's gonna, the left-handed hitter, gonna have to deal with a lot of speed in that group there as well.
Now pitching for Team White from the Ontario Blue Jays, number 14.
I believe Sortino has a stolen base in this game as well.
Leading off for Team Black from the Toronto Mets, number 61, Giancarlo Sortino.
First pitch from Zalzal. This is outside.
A bit high as well, high and outside pitch, ball 1. So Sortino seeing the ball very well here at the plate.
Swing and miss. 1-1 now. Now he'll catch the zone 1-2. Sortino Now facing a 1-2 count.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Battle here, come on.
The 1-2 from Zalzal. Holds back. 2-2 now.
Here you go.
A late appeal there by the home plate umpire down to the first base umpire, asking if Sortino went. No was the call, so that evens the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Now is it high and foul behind home plate. The 2-2 to Sortino. High. Runs the count full.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
Good little battle going on here between Zalzal and Sortino.
Yeah, Sortino seeing the ball really well. His another full count at bat for him, as that was his first at bat, and he ended up drawing a walk there. He fouls that one off and stays alive, still at 3 balls, 2 strikes.
6th inning out of 10 right now. Full count pitch. Inside, ball 4, and Sortino has a really nice at-bat, draws a long walk.
Second walk of the game for Sortino, puts himself on again. And you're right, Joey, his first plate appearance, he did steal second base, which put him in scoring position to get cashed in by McDonough, but it's going to be Hughes up at the plate here first from the Blue Jays organization.
Hughes fouls that one off. Zalzal doing a good job right now, not of missing the bat, but of missing the barrel. He's not allowed any good hard contact yet. Pitch. And there's strike 2. 0-2 count now. Zalzal in control right now. 0-2. Just misses inside, maybe a little high. One, 2 count now. Sortino taking a bit of a lead right now. Pitch in the dirt. Catcher lost it, and that's going to allow Sortino to move up to second. Tough break right there for Brandon Hu, the catcher.
Yeah, he was able to keep that ball and smothered in and didn't get to the backstop, but he lost sight of where the ball went in front of him, and that causes Sortino to move from first up to second base.
2-2 from Zalzal. Fouled back again. Ryan McDonough on deck with an RBI in this game so far. Misses outside. Full count.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
Good at bat here from Hughes, as he's been able to keep a good eye at the plate and swing at the close ones that he needs to fight off to stay alive. As he's got 2 strikes, he's now worked at full.
Payoff pitch. Hits that one shallow. Could be trouble in the triangle. And the second baseman will get under it. So runner on second now for McDonough. Zalzal fights off that second straight long AB.
A good play there from the second baseman here for Team White, as he was able to shade his eyes from the bit of sun here high in the sky in Dorchester, Ontario, and make that catch for the first out of the inning.
Inside for a ball. Zalzal would love 2 quick outs here. He's going to be running close up to his pitch count. That one's hammered foul. Good little dodge there by the third base umpire.
That is Hudson Gagne. I referee hockey with him in the wintertime, so I was chatting with him before, and I told him I wouldn't razz him too much on the broadcast here, but that was a good footwork on the third baseline to get out of the way of that hard hit ball.
Zalzal's got to know he's running up to his count, but it would look a lot better to get 2 quick outs here. 1-1. Low, good block by Who, but we'll get the 2-1.
Who did a good job to smother that ball, keep it in front of him, and keep it in his body so that the runners will not be able to move up on the play.
2-1. Just missed outside or low. 3-1 now. It hard and deep into center, going back as the center fielder, and he will get there, and Sortino straight a bit too far off the base to advance.
McDonough takes that ball for a ride. Another hard hit ball by McDonough into that right center alley there, but the center fielder able to range over, make the catch. That's the second out of the inning. Sortino still in scoring position with Mason Alt up to the plate.
First pitch from Zal. It's back and it gets through Who, and now Sortino's 90 feet away.
Yeah, so just a nice base hit up the middle will score Sortino here and put Team Black within a run here in the top half of the 6th inning.
Want to know the count? To Alt. Zalzal. Love to get out of this inning right here. Swing and miss from Alt. 1-1.
Great pitch there. As Alt was probably looking for something hard in the zone, but then that pitch just dropped the bottom out of the zone, and he swings right over top of the pitch.
Watches the 1-1 turn into 1-2. 2 strikes now on Alt. Zalzal with a great chance to get out of this inning clean.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
1-2. Misses low. 2-2.
Good discipline from Alt there with being down in the count. He able to draw it even now. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. He'll look for something in his wheelhouse that'll be able to cash that run in from third base.
2-2 from Zalzal. That's it hard in the left field. Left fielder going and getting under it and will make the play. And Zalzal gets out of the inning. As we'll head to the bottom of the 6th.
As we get a quick replay of that fly ball to left field, just ranging back a little bit. Was the left fielder able to settle under it, make the catch? And now we got number 28 of the Great Lakes Canadians on the mound for Team Black.
Luke Folds.
Luke Folds. As he was also in the lineup as a hitter as well. So he now is taking his turn on the mound. He'll get his chance to throw 20 pitches on the mound and show his stuff on to the scouts watching here in the stands.
Also competitive swimmer from what I understand.
Multi-sport athlete, and a lot of kids this young of age definitely want to keep their options open, and obviously they might excel in one more than the other, but they're still going to have some fun and still be kids out there and able to do more than just, for this instance, more than just baseball. You want to keep yourself in shape in the off season, and swimming is a good way to do that.
from Thunder Bay, Ontario, came down to Dorchester to play for the Canadians. You see that those long arms, that swimmer's body can also be a pitcher's body if you use that explosiveness right. Really long wind up to explode into that ball, but he's able to get some great movement and some great velo on that.
As we got some time here, we'll look kind of at the box score. We got Team Black. They have 3 runs on 2 hits with 6 left on base. And we flip over to Team White. They have the 5 runs on 7 hits with 6 left on base through 5.5 here at Royal Park, the Field of Dreams in Dorchester, Ontario. Just a beautiful facility here, Joey, that these kids are used to playing at every so often during the season. Great Lakes Canadians, obviously their home ballpark, but teams, I was talking to a couple people before our broadcast, and they're saying teams would prefer to drive down here to play home games and play games during the season because of how nice this turf field is and how the bounces come up for the players to field, and which is a very good compliment for our part of the province.
Spencer Thompson next up. Really speedy player.
Did strike out looking his first plate appearance in the 3rd inning.
You see Folds that long wind up.
Quickly behind Spencer Thompson, 3-0 here, as Thompson making sure he sees that ball quickly, and he gets a 4-pitch walk, and he puts the leadoff batter on here in the bottom half of the 6th inning.
Folds working very fast right now. That was the quickest 4-pitch walk I've ever seen, but unfortunately it was a 4-pitch walk.
Braden Hu, I'm going to be that guy, and if he gets on first base, it's going to be that long-standing thing, who's on first. And as that pitch goes to the backstop,
I believe it might have nicked his shoulder, but umpire's gonna rule it missed. And who's okay with that because he wants to get a chance to swing here.
Yeah, gets the chance to swing. Gets up in the count, 1 ball, no strikes.
Check in on the runner at first.
Yeah, Spencer Thompson not too far away from the base. He back easy on that pickoff attempt.
Who hits that one hard to right field? Ranging, can't get there. That's going to be extra bases. It's only going to be 2nd and 3rd here. They throw over, he has to get back because Spencer Thompson was holding up, making sure that ball wasn't caught. It's a really tough play to make in right field. Went all out, didn't quite get there. Well-placed hit by Who.
Yeah, that was a looping fly ball down the right field line. The right fielder playing shading to the pull side of the field, so it was a long run and just missed the outstretched arms of the right fielder. Goes down for a double. Runners 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. Top of the order, and drag up at the plate.
Jonah Andrade with 2 runners in scoring position here. Great chance to do some damage. Swing and a miss. Folds looking to try and settle in here. Gave a quick walk and then looping BABIP hit. Now 3-0 now. Folds likes to work quick, but in a situation like this, he's got to kind of slow down and catch himself here. And there's another 3-0 now.
It's actually a full count here, Joey. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes. The first 2 pitches of the at-bat were strikes, and then it's been 3 consecutive balls to the leadoff batter, and he draws a walk, and that'll load up the bases here.
It's a good fight back from Andrade then.
Now batting from the field house.
Bases loaded now.
84, Quinn Carson.
It's Quinn Carson now.
Had a fly out to second base and then a double in his second at bat in the fourth. So this is his third plate appearance here in the bottom half of the sixth inning, looking to do some damage here and put some more runs on the board.
Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. 1-1 now. And Folds, the thing about how he likes to work fast is the hitter has got to be ready, especially if we get into this new era of baseball where the pitch clock is going to get introduced into lower and lower divisions. It's a nice trait to have, the ability to work fast.
Folds is making Quinn Carson looking all sorts of uncomfortable in the batter's box. The last two swings for Carson have just been kind of emergency hacks as those balls were low and in the zone.
That one's fly to second base. Losing it in the light a little bit, and he's able to range over and make the play. Went over a lot farther than I think he wanted to.
Yeah, not sure if an infield fly was called on that play, as just kept carrying, and was able to make the catch there. Nonetheless, it's going to be the first out of the inning. Quinn Carson flying out to the second baseman for the second time in this game.
Jordan Jacob with bases loaded. Punch down for a ball. We've got a second now. Put you on the spot here. Who's got the best jerseys in this league?
It's a tough choice. That's a nice base hit to the shortstop. Throw on the first. Picks up on the short hop. And that will be an RBI, though, for Jordan Jacob on the putout, as I believe that is going to be the pitch count as we get a replay here. Nice pick by the shortstop. No throw. Nice scooping pick by the first baseman for Team Black. And that'll end the inning, but one run across for Team White. They add to their lead. It's now 6-3 going to the seventh.
And we'll be right back here on Rogers TV. New pitcher entering the game. We'll tell you all about it right after this.
Dream come true. Tuesdays on City TV. It blew me away. It doesn't even look real. It looks like a special effect.
We've done some moves we have never, ever seen.
This is an audition I'll never forget. It was amazing.
America's Got Talent. All new Tuesdays 8/7 Central on City TV or stream anytime.
Today, I helped a parent feed their family by connecting them to a food program.
Today, I helped someone connect with mental health supports.
Today, I helped a couple struggling to pay their bills access financial aid.
Every day, 211 navigators connect Canadians to critical government and community programs and services.
211. Help starts here.
Welcome back to the CPBL All-Star Game here in Dorchester, Ontario. I'm Joy Line and this is Kyle Friel. We're about set to get started here. Trent Rudge is going to be the pitcher for the Windsor Selects. Touches 86 on the gun with his fastball. So, it'll be an interesting test for Chris Troyer to deal with, who is on deck. And up right now is one of the Ontario Blue Jays.
It's Aiden Eulenbrook.
I believe that he's taking his first swings of the day.
He was a 5-3 putout there back in the third inning.
There you go. Watch that one inside. Looking for a more positive outcome here against Trent Rudge. Swing and a miss. Here in the 7th of a 10-inning game. You can see a lot of different pitchers here. A lot of scouts in the crowd from different universities across North America. A lot of D1 building. We kicked off with two high-profile commits. Starting pitchers of this game were Will Hines and it's hidden to center field. It will be settled in there.
Now batting from the Ontario.
They're saying the starting pitchers of this game were Will Hines and Goodacre to Power 5 commits right now. Goodacre to West Virginia. Hines to Wake Forest. Chris Troyer now up. Watch that one high for a ball. Swinging and a miss. For a strike.
Droger, a walk in the 4th inning, comes around to score.
That'll be a base hit up the right field line. We'll think it 2. He's going to go for 2.
Ball gets into the corner area, and he'll stick there for a double. A good piece of hitting from Droger there as he puts himself into scoring position with one swing. And now his teammate, Preston Vera, up at the plate looking to cash him in.
Runner on second, 1 out. Here, the catcher. First pitch from Rudge. High inside. With the runner on second. 1 and out. Vera struggled defensively earlier in this game, but looking to try and make up for it with the bat. Watch another one high.
Yeah, his first plate appearance was a single, and he also scored in the 4th inning. So he's been pretty good at the plate here so far.
2-0. Make that 3-0. Rudge trying to settle in here.
Rudge trying to settle in, but Vieira doing a great job watching those pitches and not biting on anything outside of his power zone. Puts himself in a 3-1 count. That pitch comes in for a strike.
Vieira now sees it, sees what the pitch is going to look like. 3-1 from Rudge. Swings that one, that's going to go foul on the right field line, and it'll run the count full.
That pitch was one Vieira was able to turn around on, but just slice it foul. So he'll be looking at a 3-ball, 2-strike count, looking to put the ball in play.
Full count from Rudge. That's fouled back to the screen.
That stays alive. That fastball was kind of middle cut, and Vieira was just late on it, gets a piece of it, and still staying alive here. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Full count pitch. That's hit hard to the right field line. It'll stay in play.
Drop foul.
But drop foul.
Staying alive is Vieira here on the play. He'll come back in, get set back in the box, still making the pitcher work here for Team White. They're looking to cash that run in.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Play.
The long AB so far. From Rudge, counts full. And he holds up for the ball 4. Good plate appearance there from Vieira.
That's bringing us back to the top of the order. Number 11, Philip Chong, coming up for the 3rd time. First at bat was a fly out to left field and a walk, and he was stranded at second base back in the 4th.
I'm interested to see if Chong's still affected from catching his toe in the turf for his first at bat. Watches a breaking ball in for ball 1. Runners on first and second right now. One out here. Top of the 7th inning. There's strike 1. One count right now. Trent Rudge is the pitcher. And watch that one for a ball. Rudge has been trying to settle in. He hasn't shown a ton of consistency this inning so far. does get a lot of power with that frame. High for a ball. (3-1). And that misses. Rudge not happy about that one. That'll go for ball 4.
Now batting for Team Black from the Fieldhouse Pirates, number 2, Owen
Yeah,
Ralph.
so just as we got to time as the batter gets ready in the box, it is 5-3 for Team White as the Spencer Thompson run that came in the 6th would not count because it was the pitch cap and the last out of the inning technically was a force out, so they would not count that run. So it's still 5-3 in favor of Team White here in the top half of the 7th, but Team Black is pressing here with bases loaded, 1 out.
That's fouled sharply into the cornfield behind us. Ralph, the two-way player. Watches that one. Rudge wanted that one called his way. It does not.
2 balls, 1 strike.
2-1. That one high. 3-1.
Team Black hitters taking a very conservative approach at the plate, making sure, and that's going to be ball 4, walking in a run, and it's within 1 run now is Team Black, and that looks to be the end of the inning as 20 pitches has been reached. So it's 5-4 here through 6.5 innings. Team White going to be coming up to the plate next here, Joey.
Yep, and another frustrating inning for the pitching staff there. We head to the bottom of the 7th. Score is 5-4. You can see the pitcher's gonna be, looks like it's gonna be Owen Ralph, who we've seen at the plate a couple of times this game.
Owen Ralph was the last batter for Team White. He also spent a little bit of time at second base to start the game, so it'll be his turn on the mound, and we'll see what he can do to these batters here on the mound. Here, Joey.
Perfect game has him touching 85 on the gun. Be interested to see how he attacks these hitters. Likes to throw a fastball and a curveball. Ralph will take his first shot at the mound today, but he's had a busy night so far. Made a couple defensive plays earlier in this game. We're in the bottom of the 7th. We're playing 10 innings this game. Each team has 10 pitchers. Inning goes 3 outs or 20 pitches. It's not really about winning this game, it's more about showcasing your talents to the large number of scouts assembled.
Leading up for Team White from the Ontario Blue Jays, number 22, Stephen Waters.
Stephen Waters now up, the catcher. We've mentioned his speed, and it's, again, speed for a catcher is not a usual trait, but it's a really nice thing to have in the toolbox.
Most definitely. If you're able to get on base and then utilize speed to either steal bases or pick up extra bases on hits, it's always something a team will look for.
Hits that one hard in the left field, around the line, and that's going to pop the fence for an automatic double.
Round rule double from a hard hit ball of Stephen Waters, and if that ball stayed in the park, he might have been able to leg out a triple there, but fortunate enough for Team Black, he hits it with a bounce over the fence, so 2 bases for Stephen Waters, a leadoff double here in the bottom half of the 7th inning.
So I'll bring up the Fieldhouse Pirate, Jackson Long, who's had a busy night both at the plate and in the field.
His last at-bat was a stand-up triple, and so he definitely was able to help his team out here his last at-bat.
Watch the first 2 pitches for strikes from Ralph. Pitch. It's high for a ball, 1-2. Maybe looking for a chase there.
Yeah, good waste pitch there. Nothing gonna hurt him with throwing only 1 ball. You're up in the count 0-2. Might as well see if he'll chase a pitch high and outside.
1-2. That one's fouled. Still 1-2. Ralph getting ahead in the count was nice. Now he's got to finish the deal. The runner on second. That one's chopped foul. Still 1-2.
You got 2, you got kick, come on.
Long able to stay alive in this count. Pitch. Bounce it hard up the middle, base hit. They're gonna send the runner from second. No, he's gonna, at the last second, stay back because you know how strong that throw is from center.
Yeah, that's a good play there. We get a replay. Nice hit right back up the middle, but it was hit too hard to the center fielder. Makes him come in to shallow center field, and it would have been a very tight play at the plate. So instead of potentially getting thrown out at the plate, you keep him at third, and then a base hit here might score him, or even on a pass ball.
Runner! Hit and run on. Mike Rodriguez hits that one deep to right. That's going back to the track, and it'll be caught just before the track. Throw going back to first is going to be offline. Runner first goes back safely. Runner from third scores. And it's now 6-3.
Number 17.
Yeah, that was a sac fly there. The runner from first on the hit and run play didn't realize that it was a fly ball, so luckily enough the throw was offline. He was able to get retouch second base on the way back to first and get back to first safely, and he remains on first base.
Moran now up. He's had a very nice game tonight. Runner on first right now. The one Ontario Nationals representative. Still only 1 out in the inning. Infield in double play depth right now. Runner going. Throw over, and they got him. Oh no, they're gonna say he went around the tag. The throw was perfect, but a nice swim move gets around the tag.
Watch, he gets a good jump on the play. He lets up and then goes in, and the awkward slide around. He does get around it. His hand's on the bag. He gets tagged up near the thigh, and he's around the play there.
And another hit and run. They're gonna move. They're gonna send the runner on the grounder to throw in, and he's safe. Heads up baseball. Good play there. And they manufacture a run. I was gonna say the reason he held up at second is because Moran foul tipped it into the catcher's glove. The play continued, and he was able to make a nice slide to get in there, and then that's some good fundamentals right there.
Yeah, good heads-up play by the third base coach there to send him on the hit and run and manufacture that run across the board.
First pitch to Bryce Cross is fouled into the left field. Two outs now. The fly out and the ground out, both productive outs. That one's grounded to second. Quick play over to first, and they'll get out of the inning. So 2 runs on the board, both off some good fundamental baseball.
That's right there. So going here into the 8th inning, Team Black will have some work to do, as on the scoreboard here at Royal Park, they're down 4. 7-3, Team White has the lead. And a new pitcher, number 32 from the Pirates, going to be taking the mound, Joey.
It'll be Jackson Long, who we've seen a lot of today, both in the field and at the plate, now on the hill. He has that really long frame he'll use to get some velo on the ball. From Guelph, Ontario. Can touch 86 on the gun with his fastball. Long, one of the two-way players. Has a really high wind-up. And like I said, takes a lot of that energy throughout that really long kick that he has to do to get all that energy through his big frame. Throws a fastball and a slider. Can touch 86 on the gun. Still plenty young. More known for his skills with the bat than on the hill, but very talented both ways. A lot of scouts in the crowd opening up their books, intently watching this one. Interesting matchup here against Cantwell.
From Fieldhouse Pirates, number 32, Jackson Long. And leading off for Team Black from the Great Lakes Canadians, number 17, Noah Cantwell.
8-4 is the score. Now it's fouled back.
Four is the score here. We with the way the game's going, the pitcher's only having 20 pitches to get through an inning or 3 outs, whatever comes first. In a couple of the innings, a run scored, but the 20 pitch limit was reached, so that's why the run will still score, because in a normal game of baseball, if it wasn't the 3rd out, it's still going to be a run scored on the board, so they will count those runs. 8-4 is the score currently in favor of Team White.
Now, I'm sure the 15-year-olds that got run at the scoreboard are going to have a hard time figuring out how to get that to register, but it is 8-4. We have confirmed that. Canwell will call time here, regroup himself here. It's an interesting matchup between Canwell and Long. Swing and miss, strike 2. Cantwell facing down a 2-2 count from Long, who, with that long delivery, is able to get a lot of power into the ball. Now it's hammered up the middle, a base hit. Cantwell is on. Leadoff single.
Yeah, that's his. That'll make him 1 for 2 on the day. His first at bat, a walk in the 1st inning, and then he was a 5-3 put out in the 4th, and then a base hit here in the 8th. Has the leadoff batter on for Team Black as they are trying to come back from this 8-4 deficit that they currently are facing.
Keegan Russell, pair of strikeouts to his name so far this game. Turns his luck around, looks to ground ball, second for 1 onto first, and they get the double play. So 2 quick outs for Long. And that'll bring up the catcher, Liam Kirsch.
Now batting from the Ontario Blue Jays, number 15, Liam Kirsch.
Kirsch will definitely try and re-spark this Team Black offense here, as the leadoff single was erased with that 6-4-3 double play.
And he'll watch that one for a ball. Fieldhouse Pirate versus Ontario Blue Jay, a matchup we've seen a lot today. These two teams put a lot of players in this All-Star game. Down low for a ball.
That ball skipped in just before the plate for ball 2. Liam Kirsch seeing the ball quite well today. He's 0 for 2 with a fly out to right field, and then that crazy play from the first baseman to the second baseman to the pitcher for that put out at first base back in the 5th inning.
No strikes.
3-0 count. And watch a strike 1. So Long keeps the at-bat going.
Able to throw that strike, catching just the inside part of the plate, just below the letters there for a strike call from the home plate umpire.
3-1 from Long. Misses inside, and that'll be ball 4. So Kirsch is able to get on for the first time today.
On with a walk. So now a runner on first with 2 outs here. Luke Folds, he has a single to his name as well as a strikeout, so he's 1 for 2 so far. His 3rd at bat right now. Great Lake Canadian here up at the plate.
He also pitched earlier in the game, and it's two pitchers facing each other right now that have very similar pitching styles and also very similar hitting and pitching attributes. Sort of a mirror match. Throws high, and that'll be a stolen base for Kirsch.
Good speed by Kirsch there to steal the base, as he was in there well before the throw from the catcher. So good speed on Kirsch to put himself into scoring position.
1-1 count now. That one's hammered up the middle for a base hit. They're going to send the runner, and the ball is bobbled out in center field, and he'll score easily.
So that stolen base for Kirsch proves to be a benefactor for Team Black, as he's now cashed in with the Folds base hit up the middle as we get a look at it. As it's just bobbled there by the center fielder, gets it in, and it's an RBI single for Folds.
Joe Godfrey now up, one of the catchers on this team. Struggled so far this game, but no time to turn it around like the present. Watches the ball. From the Ontario Astros organization, based out of Aurora. And they'll check the runner over at first. Off the swinging strike.
Man, it looked like the first baseman was kind of fooled on that, as he was a late reaction catching the ball. Luckily, he was able to react fast enough to catch that ball and not have it go into right field.
Misses low. 3-1 now. That's one of the things with these All-Star games is these players aren't playing together all the time, so they don't have that communication down pat as much as their normal teammates. As that'll be ball 4, and that'll end the inning. Jackson Long can't get out of it.
But Team Black does score a run here in the top half of the 8th. They now trail by 3, 8-5. We're going to head to the bottom of the 8th inning in what will be a 10-inning ball game here at Royal Field in Dorchester, Ontario. Gorgeous afternoon, Joey, for a ball game. Not too hot, not too cold, as we see these U16 baseball players from across Ontario come and show their skills off on a beautiful field here in Dorchester.
It'll be Carter Nelson next. Touches about 86 on the gun. Playing for the Windsor Selects. Brother Sean Nelson plays for the Fanshawe Falcons. Possibly a landing spot for Carter.
Going to lead off here in the bottom half of the 8th for Team White is number 18 of the Great Lakes Canadians, is Vaughn McGinn. And he's had a good day at the plate. He had a walk in the 3rd and then a single. And in the 5th, he was stranded at 3rd in the 5th. So he's going to look to continue his hot day at the plate here in the 8th inning.
Watch that inside. Flies by overhead. I think that's Air Canada. Ball outside.
Boy, Robert.
It looks like it's making its route to the London International Airport. The plane up above the sky here at Royal Field in Dorchester. Always nice to hear some of the sights and sounds at a baseball game outdoors.
Swing and a miss. Runs into 2-1.
Throwing that off-speed pitch there. Catches McGinn off balance as that swing was a little uncomfortable.
Now it's popped on third base side. Could be still in play. Could be along the wall, and it's caught. Is stick with it there for Mason Alt. Alt, who started the game as a catcher, moves over to third base, makes a nice little play there.
Yeah, Alt, nice range at 3rd into foul territory. Lots of room down the foul lines in foul territory here at Royal Field, so Alt makes that play and gets the first out of the inning.
Amidi fouls that one into the left field.
Come on, Robert. The other way.
2 pitchers warming up now in the bullpen.
Batting for the Fieldhouse Pirates, number 4, Robert O'Meady.
Field 1 to Amidi. And hits him.
You don't have to go.
Takes that one off the head, but he's fine. He'll run over to first base. They're going to let him swing again if he wants it. He'll take it.
Yeah, he'll take the swings here. I believe that's kind of what they want. They don't want the batters in this type of game to take a base there. They'll let him swing, let him show what he can do at the plate, and let the pitcher get the pitches in that they're allotted.
Swing and a miss, strike 2.
Hey, Robert, come on.
2-2 now. You call time.
Yeah, behind in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes here. Gonna look to either stay alive, foul some pitches off, or get one that he can hit.
That one's chopped into the dirt. New life.
Staying alive with that pitch. He just missed that one and fouled it off. Keeps himself alive. Still behind in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
1-2 from Nelson. Now it's hit into right field for a base hit. And he'll take that base hit. He's on first anyway. Now he can show off his bat a little bit.
Yeah, that's a nice little soft liner into right field. and gets on base. And that's going to bring up number 2, Jack Perry of the Fieldhouse Pirates organization. And you did ask me which jerseys I thought looked great. I love the pinstripes of the Pirates.
I regret to inform you that is an Ontario Terriers jersey.
Oh, that is a Terriers jersey. Nonetheless, the pinstripes nonetheless are one that always sparked my interest. Or the yellow of the Pirates there that that Alt's wearing. Those are always nice kind of throwback looks.
Pirates also wear pinstripes, but not quite the same. They've got the kind of blue and gold. Whereas the Pirates got a different shade of blue and gold, but not as much blue.
Yeah, the Fieldhouse Pirates pinstripes are on first base as Robert O'Mitty was back safely on a pickoff attempt.
Another little pitch in the dirt. Perry works at 2-0. Jack Perry, the left-handed hitter out of the Terriers organization. Has that really upright batting stance. Runner going, throw over, and O'Mitty is in there safely.
Yeah, the throw was high into the second base side of the bag, so the shortstop did have to move and drift over off the bag to make sure that ball did not get past him into center field. So O'Mitty up with the second on a stolen base, in scoring position now for Perry. He might try and drive him in here.
And he'll just take his walk. So runners on first and second now. Perry moves up. They'll bring up Antonino Spencer Thompson.
Spencer Thompson 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout looking in the third and then a walk, and scored in the sixth. So his second official plate at bat here so far in the game.
Watch that one inside. Runners on first and second, pair of really fast runners out there. The 1-0 from Nelson. Swing and a miss. Spencer Thompson wanted it, couldn't find it. One now. Pitch. That one's high. More high heat. Maybe trying to keep the base runners honest.
Yeah, trying to work fast here with runners on, throwing the fastball here to try and get the ball quicker to the plate so the runners might not have the opportunity to get a good enough jump.
Strike 2. 2-2 now. Eight to 5 is your score. Pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Nelson gets well-placed fastball there to get Spencer Thompson out.
Yeah, that brings up Braden Hu of the Terriers organization. He's going to look to maybe produce a run here with a runner in scoring position, 2 outs.
One of the catchers brought to this game. Nelson checks on the runner. The pitch. Strike 1 on the breaking ball.
Yeah, nice getting over curveball. Strike 1. Gets ahead in the count. Now he can play a little bit here with his pitches and see if he can now maybe paint the corners and try and get some chase pitches here.
Just misses for the ball.
Just off the outside part of the plate as it caught within the zone, just not quite on the corner on the outside part of the plate. So 1-1 the count here.
Runner's going. And the throw over is a little bit to the left. And the runners get in there to third and second on the double steal.
I believe at the beginning it was only that runner from second going, but then once the throw to third was off, the runner at first base, Jack Perry, was able to move up an extra 90 feet as well. Second and third now with 2 out.
2-1 pitch.
Up, straight up,
Down,
straight up.
straight up in the air. The first baseman will come over and get it to end the inning.
So that's 2 runners stranded for Team White as they are not able to widen their lead. We're going to go to the top half of the 9th inning next here. Joey in for a good game, only a 3-run difference here separating the teams.
We'll head to a quick break. Moran on the hill after this.
On behalf of everyone here at Rogers TV, I want to take a second to say thank you to our volunteers, the ones that help keep us running here at the station. Whether it's the community producers that help book all of our shows, the hosts that sit in the chair and talk to everyone at home, or the camera operators behind the scenes, audio operators making sure you can hear what we are saying, thank you. You are the people that help keep us running. You're the ones that help us produce the content to keep the residents that watch us informed. You're the ones that help us tell the stories that matter. So thank you. Thank you for dedicating the free time that you have to us here at Rogers TV. Know that we appreciate every second that you give us, and we just want to take this time to say thank you.
Welcome back to Rogers TV, the Canadian Premier Baseball League All-Star Game. And someone having a great showcase right now is Tyson Moran. Shown with the bat, shown in the field, shown with the glove, now looking to show on the hill. Scouts definitely see him more as a hitter, but he's got the pitching potential. Can hit 85 on the gun. Throws a change and a curveball as well. So if he can get a good inning here pitching, I would definitely consider him the MVP of this showcase game. Sortino going to step in now. It's definitely shown some flashes of brilliance today, especially on the base path, so he's not one you want to let get on. First pitch, just misses inside. Joey line with Kyle Friel. Kyle working through the lineup right now, working on some substitutions. Pitch to Sortino, ball 2.
Yeah, I was just notified by one of the parents that the name I had on the one roster was just misspelled, so it's Brandon Who instead of I had Braden, so apologies there. It's
hitting to right field. 2 players not on the same team are fighting over that one, but they're able to make the catch. For what it's worth, I've been saying Brandon. What's on my roster?
Number 2.
As we get a look at the replay there, it's the second baseman taking charge, able to catch that ball for the first out. I got the picture from the PA announcer here, and it was just typed in wrong. So again, my apologies. It is Brandon Who playing for Team White.
Catching right now, I believe.
Yes, I believe he is catching. His father is to our broadcast right with his phone out, taking pictures, making the most of this opportunity for his son.
Now it's hammered hard in the left field, going back to the track. What a catch in left field! The left fielder, I believe, from the Fieldhouse organization.
Now batting from the Ontario Blue Jays, number 20, Ryan McDonough.
Bryce Cross out in left field, making the catch. Over the shoulder. What a fantastic play on a hard hit ball. First pitch in to Ryan McDonough for a strike. McDonough had a double early in the game, was thrown out trying to stretch it into a triple. Bounce hit to short, playing deep. Can be a long throw over, and it'll be in time. Quick inning for Tyson Moran. And they'll let Moran throw a couple of pitches. He was so good, they're going to let him keep playing.
Yeah, exactly. You're allowed that 20 pitch limit here, so that was well below the 20 pitch limit for Moran. So they'll bring a couple more batters up to the plate to stretch him out and let the guys in the red seats, the scouts, look at him more and see what he's got and bring his stuff.
That one's fouled straight back, and it's hard to argue anyone's had a better showcase this game than Tyson Moran.
Yeah, Moran has definitely been one of Team White's workhorses there. A walk, a single, and scored, and then he was put out 3-1 in his last at-bat, but he's been a workhorse in
also
the
great in the field.
Great at defensively as well, and then on the mound, he's been pretty efficient there. Went 3 up, 3 down for the first 3 batters, but he's facing Mason Holt right now.
1-1 count. Strike 2. One, 2 from Moran. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Got him. Can we leave now? Can we go?
That's
no. One more.
One more batter up there. That's gonna be just very efficient from Moran here, and yeah, it's kind of funny. The players always looking back to the dugout, to the coaches. Can we leave? Do we go yet? Do we go? No, we're gonna have one more batter. All right, perfect. Let's play some more baseball here in the top half of the 9th inning.
Aiden Illybrook. Swing and miss, strike 1. What a show Moran's putting on this game.
Absolutely, showing stuff on the mound. He's got a good breaking ball working for him. His fastball is well in command here, so he's definitely showing why he could be a highly touted prospect here for any of the scouts in the stand.
1-1 now. Pitch. In the dirt. Good block by who? 2-1 now.
Balls, 1 strike.
Illybrook, the batter. Watch it. 3-1. The count for Moran. Shakes off the catcher. Takes that one, the pitch. In the dirt, ball 4. And now we can go home.
Now we'll make the switch there. I'll mark it down in my book as a walk for Illybrook, as he will not touch first base as they make the switch here. We're going to go to the bottom half of the 9th inning. Team White still up by 3. It's 8-5, and can't say enough of this game here. It's been some highlight plays, some great offense, great defense, and some great pitching here from both sides of the ball. So Joey, as we head into the bottom of the 9th, give your thoughts about the game so far.
I think the story of it is definitely pitching. We've seen so many excellent pitching performances so far this game. A lot of prospects that these scouts are going to want to take a really strong look at. The next one they're going to want to look at is Logan Ion, who's taking the hill now for the Windsor Selects. Touches 86 on the gun, lower spin rate, which means he relies a lot more on pure velocity. Throws a fastball, a changeup, and a slider. with a curveball mixed in with some low usage rates to get a strikeout. It's gonna be a tough lineup he's gonna have to face coming up here. Four of the best hitters in the lineup.
Yeah, starting at the top of the order for Team White, it's gonna be number 6, Jonah Andrade, coming up to start off the bottom half of the 9th inning here. So almost through this first game of the day for us here on Rogers TV. We will be back at 7:30 for the U17 All-Star game from the CPBL All-Star festivities this weekend. So if you've tuned into this one and want to see more baseball, come back and tune in at 7:30 and you'll see the U17 age group take to the field.
First pitch from Ion is a ball. Ion's going to look to try and work faster. We are going to play 10 innings. And that one's in the dirt. Pitch hammered into right center, and that's gonna get in front of the center fielder for a base hit for Andrade.
Now batting for the Fieldhouse Pirates, number 84, Quinn Carson.
That'll bring up Quinn Carson.
So we get a look here. That ball was stung into center field. Center fielder did not think he had the option to make that catch, so he lets it drop in front of him. Single nonetheless for Andrade to start off the bottom half of the 9th.
Andrade's gonna go, and he's gonna be in there, advancing on the wild pitch.
The pitch bounced into the dirt, and Andrade able to pick up an extra base there as we see his speed, and then goes head first into second base, easily in there.
Didn't even have his sliding gloves on in time. Just took off. Another one in the dirt. 2-0.
Good backhand stab by the catcher there for Team Black as he keeps that one from going anywhere past him to the backstop.
Andrade faked out going and almost disaster. Good play there by Cardwell to snag the offline throw.
Yeah. Andrade definitely took a few more steps than he, I think, would have liked off second base on that pitch, and almost was caught in no man's land.
Okay, Quinn.
2-2 the count now.
Come on now.
For Carson. Ion looking for his first strikeout of the day, and he'll get it. Strike 3.
Catcher showing the home plate umpire the ball that he does have control of it. Does not have to complete the strikeout by throwing it to first base. First out of the inning, as now that brings up number 12, Jordan Jacob of the Blue Jays organization.
Jacob, a lot of hustle. He's shown a lot of hustle plays in the field this game. Also been taking the bases pretty quickly when he's in play. So definitely one to watch just for his effort and athleticism.
Most definitely, yes. You mentioned Jordan or Joey, that Jordan did have some great plays in the field, and he's had a pretty decent day at the plate. He's got some contact, but has hit into a 2.53 putouts and a 6.3 putout. So just hasn't been able to squeak that ball through the infield for a base hit yet. But if he keeps continuing to make contact with the ball, I'm sure he'll find a base hit sometime today.
There's a stolen base there, the third, with no throw. 2-0 the count, or 2-1 the count now, sorry.
Balls, 1 strike.
Two-one pitch. Grounded to third. Gonna go the long way, and they're gonna get him. Good play there, that does score a run.
Now batting from the Ontario
9-5 now.
Number 22, Stephen Waters.
Stephen Waters coming up on the play. now. He is gone on base. He's 3 for 3 with 2 doubles and a single. So he's been one of the hotter offensive players for Team White here in this game. He's looking for a 4 for 4 day.
Watch that one for strike one. 1-1. And yeah, he definitely likes to use his speed, which is his speed metric is a rarity for catchers. One of the fastest catchers in the game today. 2-1 as catcher comes out to talk to him.
Just Kirsch. Just calming him down a little bit, saying, "Hey, settle in, find your spot. Let's hit the targets, and let's not overthink and overwork here on the mound."
2-1 for Ion. Chopped foul. Counts 2-2 now. Waters facing a 2-2 count. Pitch from Ion. Watched it outside.
Three balls, 2 strikes.
Count is full now. Hammered foul. Some good contact there, but can't put it in play.
Most definitely. Waters, like I've mentioned, has been hitting the ball absolutely on a tee here. He's been hitting very well, just not able to get around on that one to put it fair.
What?
Payoff pitch from Ion. In the dirt, ball 4, and Waters gets on base safely again.
We got 2.
Still 3 for 3 as a walk does not count as an official at-bat here. So 3 for 3 with 4 plate appearances was Waters. Now that brings up number 32, Jackson Long. He has a walk, a triple, and a single, and he is scored in the 7th inning for Team White.
In the dirt for a ball. Throwing around first with some speed. Ion's got to be careful. Swing and a miss for a strike. One count for Ion. Runner going. It's a hit and run. Play over to third, handled safely. Going the long way, and they'll make the play for the out.
Great play there. A 5-3 put out to end the inning as we get a quick replay. Long right over the shortstop. Great stab there. Great throw across the diamond for the out. And here comes Team Black. The last chance here as we go to the top of the 10th. The final pitcher coming in for Team White is number 7 of the Windsor Selects.
That was the late addition to our roster, I believe.
Richard Shaw, we have here on our roster, is the pitcher here for the Windsor Selects. Team White's final pitcher.
So we'll be looking to face a couple Ontario Astros and an Ontario Blue Jay. Chris Troyer, first batter this inning. So it would be Troyer, Vieira due up here. They need 4 to keep their hopes alive for winning this one.
So it'll be the bottom 2 batters and then the top of the order for Team Black here in the 10th. as they trail by 4, 9-5. Team White has the lead.
First pitch from Shaw. Strike one. Swing and a miss, strike two. 2 Ontario Astros, the organization from Aurora, will be leading off this inning. Well, that one caught the umpire. Looks to be okay. 1 and 2.
I hear the coaches from the dugout asking home plate umpire if he's all right, as that one caught him in the mask. He gives the nod, saying, yes, I'm okay. But as always, the courtesy in baseball, you'll see the catcher go out, obviously talk to the pitcher, give the umpire some time to kind of regather his bearings after getting hit. And it's the same, the umpire will do the same thing if a catcher gets hit in a sensitive spot on a foul ball or a pitch. They'll go clean the plate, deliver a ball to the pitcher, just to make sure everybody's okay and has their wits about them.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Shaw enters the game, gets a quick strikeout. Not a save situation, but he'll be happy with it either way.
Yeah, Shaw wants to come in here. The last pitcher on the roster, he wants to show what he's got, and that's a good start, as it's a good strikeout for the first out.
Chopped foul by Vieira. Not a particularly productive game from him so far, but he can turn it around right here. Go 1. In the dirt, ball 1.
Yeah, Vieira is 1 for 1 with 2 plate appearances, as he has a single in the 4th and then a walk in the 7th. He did score in the 4th and then was stranded on 3rd in the 7th inning, so his 3rd plate appearance.
Swing and a miss, strike 2.
Looking to keep that perfect plate appearance hit alive here, but he's behind in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
1-2 from Shaw. Inside, ball 2. Two and 2 now with 1 out. That one's lined 3rd, gets off the glove of the 3rd baseman, and Vieira will get a base hit.
Yeah, a solid piece of hitting there from Vieira, turning the lineup over, able to rope that, around that ball through the left side of the infield, just nicking off the top of the 3rd baseman's glove, but it'll go through for a single, and that brings the top of the order, Philip Chong, up to the plate.
Pitch. Strike 1. No 1 count. Shaw with the runner on first. Throws a ball.
Speed pitch, didn't catch the zone, it was high. So evens the count.
Chong hits that one in the left field, and it'll get down, base hit. Good, solid piece of hitting there. Keeps the lineup moving.
Yeah, Owen Ralph now coming to the plate as 0 for 1 with a strikeout and 2 walks, and has been stranded on first when he has reached on those walks. So he'll look to see if he can keep this hit parade going and cash in a couple of runs.
Fouled back. Off the catcher. Oh, 1 count for Alt. Runners on first and second, down by 4. Slow sweeping curve gets in there for a strike. Oh, 2 to Alt. In the dirt. Good block there by the catcher. Stephen Waters. who had a great night with the bat as well.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
That one's hit hard into center. That'll get down out there for a base hit. They're gonna send the runner. Throw in from center is not in time, and they score a run.
Good piece of hitting from Ralph there as he goes hitting behind the runners, which you want to do into right center field, and that gets down. It's an RBI single. Now runners on the corners here. Team Black not going to go down without a fight as they now make it a 9-5 score. 9-6 score. Yep, 9-6 score, sorry.
Tie for a ball. Tying run at the plate, and I think this might be the last batter of the inning, so Canwell's going to want to swing for the fences here. The 1-0 pitch. Runner moving, swing and miss. Throw over is not in time, and the double steal works to perfection. 9-7 now. So now runner on second. 2-run game for Canwell. Now it's hit hard, but foul down the left side.
Good piece of contact there just early on that pitch around, causing it to go foul down the third baseline. If that ball stayed fair, that had at least a double written all over it with the run scoring there.
1-2 count. Watch that miss outside. Shaw wanted it, won't get it.
Yeah, it looked pretty good there, but just missed the outside portion of the plate, according to home plate umpire, and prolongs the at-bat here.
2-2 count. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Roll it.
And that'll be his pitch count limit. So Team White will win this game. They'll get another chance to show off their swings here.
So that ends the top half of the 10th inning. As you mentioned, Joey, the pitch count was reached by the pitcher there, Shaw. And we will definitely see exactly what Team White can have here as we find the final pitcher, Ryan McDonough of the Ontario Blue Jays, hitting the mound for Team Black here, as he's the final pitcher of the game and of the roster for Team Black.
McDonough, the power hitter, also a power pitcher. A lot of velo in that arm. Didn't get a chance to finish this game out. Brigas leading off, I believe. Touches 85 on the velo. But with that big frame, there's still a lot of potential to unlock.
Now pitching for Team Black from the Ontario Blue Jays, number 20, Ryan McDonough.
Going to be leading off here is Michael Grigas for the Team White roster. He plays for the Great Lakes Canadians. So again, his home park here in Dorchester.
Made a couple nice defensive plays this game. He'll be stepping in here. We're going to try and show what he can do. Fouled back into the screen. Grigas has the highlight of the tournament, or the game for sure, with that play at first base. And he's also been pretty good with the bat as well. That one's looped into left field. Shortstop will come over and get it.
Shortstop able to range back there into shallow left field, make the routine catch there for the first out as we get a look at it. Not a good portion of the bat on that ball. Lazy fly ball into shallow left. Shortstop settles underneath it. First out recorded here in the bottom half of the 10th.
Next up is Moran. Face McDonough. Watch this one outside. Mason Alt is the catcher moving from third base. That one's hit hard into right center, but the center fielder's right there. Actually goes more straightaway center, and he makes the catch.
2 quick outs here for Team Black as McDonough is working efficiently as Moran. We see nice swing, but just a bit underneath it as the center fielder barely has to make a move to camp underneath that one for the second out here.
Bryce Cross now up. Had that great catch in left field earlier. Late on that one, swing and a miss. That one's hit high into middle range left field for the catch. That's out number 3. They'll let McDonough face another batter.
Get a look at it here. Short swing, just up underneath it again. Left fielder camped right underneath it, not having to move there. And we will face one more batter, I believe, here. Just trying to figure out who that might be.
I don't think they were ready. I think they were expecting that game to be over. So
Vaughn McGinn will get his batting gloves on and his helmet and his bat ready to go and step into the batter's box, ready to go here as we want to give McDonough his pitch count limit.
Swing and a miss from McGinn. 0-1 now. And the scouts that came out to Dorchester, Ontario today have been shown some great talent today, and they've been put on a show.
Most definitely. I think the scouts sitting in behind home plate have definitely been able to make some notes and take some things back with them to their respective schools and see what they might want to do in order offering some potential player agreements. That ball flown right out to left field, and that's another catch.
So they'll face one more.
Number 4, Robert O'Meady.
Robert O'Meady, the youngest player in this game. 2026 grad. Still plenty of time for scouts to take a look at what he's got. Watch that one for a strike. Oh, 1 count. Breaking ball falls into the dirt. 1-1. Strike 2. It's 1-2 now. Be nice for McDonough to end this one on a strikeout. He had a nice little outing.
Yeah, so far 4 fly ball outs. And then there's a ball hit down the left field line. Foul out of play.
Into the batting cages there. 1-2 still the count. O'Meady catching up to the fastball. Time is called.
O'Meady asking for time. Granted by the home plate umpire, so now we're back set, ready to go.
That one's grounded to second. Over to first. Yeah. And he beat it out. Pretty casual play from second base. And he beat it out, so call that an infield single, but that'll end the game. So that one's good for O'Meady. I saw McDonough was asking for one more.
Yeah, McDonough asking for one more batter. The coaches say no, but we look at this last play, and here we go. Throw just beats it out, and it looks like we're gonna have one more pitcher here for team. He's wearing the away uniform.
They just ran out of pitchers, I guess, or they ran out of innings.
Ran out of innings, so they are now playing an extra half inning here just to get this pitcher some pitches in. So we will go to the top half of the 11th as we want to see exactly what's going on here.
So the pitcher is wearing number 24, a Blue Jays jersey. I don't have him on our roster.
Jeffrey Zamato, we have a parent to our broadcast left, able to help us out. Jeffrey Zamato here for the Ontario Blue Jays on the mound, wearing number 24.
Keegan Russell will get another chance, and Keegan Russell has not looked that comfortable at the plate, so another good chance for him to show what he's got.
That's right, Keegan Russell going to lead off here for the Team Black All-Stars. 2 strikeouts on the play on the night, this afternoon rather, and then a 6-4-3 double play in the 8th. So he's looking to find his stroke and get a base hit.
Ball outside.
Yeah, he's completely on purpose.
Bounce it hard into left field. Going back, foul. Really hard hit ball, but fielder couldn't quite get there, and that just goes foul. So Russell showing a bit of his power there.
Jeffrey.
So last chance here for Team Black to try and tie this one up. Strike 1. Strike 2, I should say. Ball in the dirt, 2-2. Strike 3, got him.
Great pitch, middle, down the pipe, and that freezes Keegan Russell. And that's another backwards K in the scorebook.
I believe that's a hat trick for Russell now.
Yeah, that is 3 strikeouts, 2 looking, 1 swinging here in 4 at-bats.
Watching a ball now. Played a lot of baseball this afternoon. Seen a lot of really good pitching. Bounce it hard to left field, base hit.
Now batting from Great Lakes Canadians, number 28, Luke Falls.
It'll be Folds next. See there, tattooed in the left field. Good solid contact. That's what you like to see.
Yeah, that's Kirsch's first hit of the afternoon. He's been on base one other time. That was via a walk in the 8th inning. So now Luke Folds is going to look to do some damage.
Strike 1. Misses low. 1-1 now. Fouled back to the catcher's mitt. 1-2. Got some speed on the base pass right now you got to worry about. And And they'll check on that with the high fastball. That one's fouled out in the cornfield. So Folds keeping this at-bat alive here. Swing and a miss, strike 3, got him. 2 outs now. They'll ramp Joe Godfrey.
2 outs, and both of the outs are strikeouts here in the top half of the 11th inning. So we got a good pitching performance here on the mound in this half inning.
Swing and a miss, strike 1. Just misses 1-1.
Just around the outside part of the plate. Did not cross the plate across the outside, so that is a ball in the eyes of home plate umpire.
Godfrey, the catcher from the Astros, watches that one outside as well. That one's hit high into the left field side. It's going to go foul. Get around 4:30 now. It's been a long, long game.
Yeah, running on that 3-hour mark here. So these players are probably going to feel it, as it is kind of a warm, muggy day out here.
Ball outside, throw over is into the outfield. So a stolen base. Show off what you can. You don't know how many opportunities you're going to get in front of these scouts, so do as much as you can for as long as you can. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And now we finally reach the end of this ball game. So, Team Black, Team White picks up the win. We'll be back here at Rogers TV right after this.
As each day passes, we have one guarantee. The sun will rise in the morning and set in the evening. Like the sun, you will also have a time to rise and a time to set.
Join us September 30th for the Yes I Can Gathering for Girls at Matthews Hall, a safe place for girls 12 to 14 to work through the tough stuff they face every day. Go to www.waymakerinc.ca for more information and to register.
Welcome back to Rogers TV, CPBL All-Star Game. I'm Joy Landis Calfield. They just announced Jackson Long from the Fieldhouse Pirates winning the Golden Bat as MVP of the All-Star Game. Fantastic game, a lot of really, really good pitching performances, great fielding performances. The bats were at points hit and miss, but still some fantastic plays out there.
Most definitely, these kids are showing exactly what they have in the arsenal, whether that be pitching, fielding, hitting, for the scouts in attendance. So an overall great afternoon here for the U16 division of the CPBL All-Star Game. Joey, will we be back at 7:30 for the U17 division? So until then, let's have a send-off, and we'll be back at 7:30.
Absolutely. For Kyle Friel and for all of our crew, I've been Joy Lang, and thank you so much for joining us. I hope you'll see you in a couple hours on Rogers TV.
We have to take a break, and we'll be right back with more LDN ONT TV.
This program is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Carbon monoxide is a deadly gas you can't see, smell, or taste.
Homes with fuel-burning appliances and/or attached garages must have working CO alarms installed outside all sleeping areas.
Don't let the silent killer get you. Install working CO alarms today.
I'm Mike Jack. I've broken multiple world records for eating some of the world's hottest peppers. Now, I'm challenging London restaurants to make some of the world's hottest food. Watch Jack Up the Heat Mondays at 5:30.
When I grew up as a little boy, I wanted to be in sports broadcasting, and doing volunteering with Rogers TV allows the experience and the opportunity for me to chase my dreams, but also to achieve them at the local level, and that's why I chose to be with Rogers TV. I would say to those who are wanting to be an on-air talent is to focus on the little things, being able to work behind the scenes, but also be able to learn the craft, study hard, be prepared, and not be afraid of the camera, because sometimes when you get on the camera for the first time, being able to be a part of this London Nationals broadcast is certainly a great opportunity, and one that I certainly will never forget. For my advice, it's continue to be who you are, but also being able to work hard and chase your goals and what you want to be as a volunteer.
This is Rogers TV.
Welcome back to LDN ONT TV here on Rogers TV. I am your host, Brona Morgan, and I'm glad that you stayed with us because we are going to talk gold medals now. Gold medals in hockey. Talk to me, Kim, about how this happened. And wow, congratulations.
Well, thank you. This is a very long story.
All right.
So
we only have 10 minutes.
Right.
Yeah. Men's hockey's been in the senior games for a very long time. Women's hockey started only in 2017. And so in 2019, there were some women that said, well, 55 plus is a good age category. Can't we have a 60 plus category, because the national event in Kamloops in 2020 is going to have women 60 plus, so we have to have Ontario teams represented. So there was a qualifying tournament held in December of 2019, and I joined a team from Mississauga, and we won. And so we were going to Kamloops in 2020, and then everything shut down. So we all just went home, and then they announced Kamloops for 21, and then it didn't happen, and then they announced Kamloops for 22, and so the whole team just got back together, and we went.
Yeah, I'd love to see this beautiful.
So this is a beautiful gold medal from the Kamloops Summer
that
Games.
Is lovely.
And everybody on our team.
I'm finally holding. It's kind of heavy. It is kind of heavy.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, congratulations.
It was pretty nice. So there were women on the team that were, everybody was over 60, and there were 3 team members who had actually been on the very first Team Canada in 1987 when they won in Toronto, the very first Worlds in hockey. So they were on my team too, so it was very cool.
Incredible.
And so besides that, before I was on a hockey team, I was going to prediction skating. And this award came from Coburg, because when we go to provincial events, then pretty often the local artists create the awards.
That's really lovely.
And so when I saw this, I really wanted to win. It was very motivating. So the event of prediction skating is very inclusive. All you have to do is be able to motor yourself around the rink 27 times, which is about 3 kilometers. And so
when I first heard that, that's a pretty cool event. I can do that. And you know, as you're getting to the last lap, and if you said it's going to take you an hour, I'm just about ready to put my blade over the finish line. It doesn't work that way.
All right, so prediction, and there's prediction walking as well.
Exactly.
So this was interesting as well. Prediction swimming.
And cycling.
And so you're really competing against
yourself. exactly.
It's a total head game.
Yeah, you can't wear a watch. That's why you can't tell where you're at, right? So that's why you can't just stand almost crossing the finish line saying, I'm going to wait here for 5 minutes because I'm early. Can't do that. So you can't have a way, there's no way that somebody could be whispering in your ear, okay, slow your pace down or move it up a notch. No, you have to practice so that you know generally how you're pacing yourself to be able to do those laps.
It really is about the mind-body connection.
Yeah.
Like you're really, it's the total package, the athlete, the total package.
And I have a friend in Brantford who's really good at it. I've seen her do it a couple of times where she hit her prediction right on to the second. And so...
and that's how you medal in this sport? Like you get it as close as you...
Yeah.
Yeah, the closest person,
The best prediction wins.
Yeah.
And you do it twice, so they add both differentials together. But anyway, so when we do it on November the 23rd at, where are we now? At Nichols Arena, then that's what we'll be doing, having people skate the 27 laps, and there'll be somebody counting the laps and somebody timing them, and it's fun. There are different strategies. The woman who wins all the time from Brantford, she said that she just keeps a song in her head, and and I think
she skates to that pace. Interesting.
Yeah, I think that's a very good technique. Yeah. My strategy was always to just go as fast as I can, and so the time that I predicted would be sort of my personal best kind of thing, and that strategy has worked for me pretty well.
Fantastic. Okay, so prediction skating is coming up. What are the other events that are still, that people, if they're interested, that they can still register in for the games that we have coming up in November?
Okay, so prediction are,
women's schedule.
The women's hockey is gone. Snooker's already happened. Cribbage is on today, so it's too late for that. But we have other card games. We have euchre and bid euchre. We have other billiard games. We have 8-ball. And darts. It's always held at the Legion. They're great about having us there. We have badminton events and
pickleball.
Winter pickleball.
Once again, winter pickleball. It's an extra because we like pickleball.
Yeah, exactly. So when you're part of the group that puts on the events, you can choose some of the events that you're going to have.
Nice.
Yeah.
Boxing? We're going to get boxing,
yeah,
right?
we've got that on the list now.
Yeah,
thanks to you, Rhoda.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, we already made the deal. No face punching, right?
Right.
So we could just box the air. Prediction boxing. Like how many punches could I throw?
We have to take that to a meeting and see what people say.
Yeah, excellent.
I think that would be hilarious,
okay,
really.
So who's at the meetings? Because you're probably looking for athletes, but you're probably looking for people that can help out in other ways as well.
Oh, anybody who would like to help is welcome. And we have an elected board, but we have members at large, and then we have people that just show up, and that's how Mary came along.
And people who just help at the events, right? People who are doing the timing, who are getting people to their scheduled event. And if we're playing pickleball, there's multiple teams, so as soon as they come off, they're doing the scorekeeping. So there's a lot of ways you can participate.
So how many people are involved, let's say, in the organization and the participation for the games that we have going on right now?
About a dozen, I would say. And there's always room for more, but there's
absolutely.
about a dozen. And about half a dozen of them have been around for years. So that's one of the advantages of London, I guess, is that we have quite a dedicated group, and they've been at it for a while. We know from other meetings that I've been to that other districts aren't quite so lucky, and they're struggling a bit to come back from COVID, to just keep it going, to get the word out and that sort of thing. So that's why we're here, because we need to get the word out.
Build awareness, yeah.
If there are 100,000 people in London that are over 55, according to the Health Unit survey, we should be able to get more than just a couple of hundred to come out to our games, and we would like to have a few hundred more come and participate.
Now, you played hockey when you were in high school, I think you mentioned, right? You've been an athlete. A little bit. Yeah, so you've been an athlete for most of your life. Mary, I'm assuming you've probably been playing sports for a long time as well.
Yeah, I have, yeah.
What about somebody who maybe was not a natural athlete? Is there room in the London Senior Games for people who just want to try something new, who have never...
Oh, absolutely. And that part of the joy, I think, is each of us have different things to offer and bring. We are looking at revamping our website, our local website. Someone who has the technical wherewithal, I mean, I'm not a technical person, but if someone has an interest to help us, that would be a skill set that we would embrace.
How about coaching? Do you have coaches, or how do you improve your performance in sport?
Most of the event, because our all events are really only held once a year,
Right.
then the idea is that people are playing somewhere else and they come from their various community centers, like Hamilton Road where you work and other places. The idea would be that they come from their various centers and get together at our games once a year, meet the new people, compete, you know, bragging rights more than anything to be the winner of London to go on to the provincial event. But
I like the spark that you just gave me. If there was an awareness at centers that you coach at or teach at or gyms, if they're aware of the events that exist for individuals who are over 55, yeah, I'd want to have some kind of support or help. How do I improve my skill set so maybe I can get one of those gold medals, right? So for me, if you're one of those individuals who would like to, you know, help some of us older people to improve our skill sets, absolutely. I think that's a wonderful way for the awareness to grow and people to actively get engaged.
London, maybe we'll come up with a new name as well. London 55 plus?
That's what we use, London 55
Yeah, that's what we
games.
actually use, yeah.
All right, it's not too late if I wanted to register for an event.
No, and the easiest thing to do really is to Google OSGA, which is the Ontario Senior Games Association, because we're part of them and they sponsor the big website. So if you Googled OSGA London specifically, then you'd get to the place that says welcome to District 30, and it would tell you about all the events and very specific instructions about how to register. And we didn't mention that the cost is only $15 a year. So once you're a member of OSGA, then most of our events are free.
Fantastic. All right, so we have to take a break. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Mary. Now, viewers, you know what you're going to do during this break, because we do have a little bit more LDN ONT TV after this. But check out that website and register for London, for now, Senior Games. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
This program is brought to you by the following sponsors.
I'm Wendell Clark with a word about winning. We all know it takes a team effort in any sport and with any challenge. You can be a part of the winning team that shuts out impaired driving. Whether you're out on the town or just hanging out with friends, drink responsibly. Always have a plan for a safe ride home for yourself, your family, and your friends. You'll be helping to shut out impaired driving.
Visit ArriveAlive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive. Drive sober.
Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Mario Elia, and I'm the host of a new show here on Rogers TV that we're calling Keeping London Healthy with Dr. Mario. So tune in Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. and we'll see you then.
Most people that have received treatment for drug use problems are probably going to have a lapse.
Join addictions counselor Dean Anderson for Invisible, Breaking Through the Stigma of Addiction on Rogers TV.
You're watching Rogers TV.
Welcome back to LDN ONT TV here on Rogers TV. We are now joined with somebody our viewers met. I'm not sure if it was last year or the year before you came on the show, Avery, but welcoming back Avery. So Avery has, you may know Avery's face if you're somebody who frequents the fantastic food truck Meat Candy. So she is one of the wonderful family of Boyles who works on the Meat Candy food truck, but also Avery is the, I guess, the founder or the ideas behind Avery's Lending Library or Little Library. So Avery, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Tell me, why did you want to be somebody who created one of these little libraries?
Well, ever since I was little, I've always loved the idea of like helping other children who are not as privileged to like be able to actually read other things, because a lot of books from like the bookstores are really expensive.
Absolutely.
So my Lending Library helps little kids find like other books that they can actually read themselves. because a lot of the books that are actually in there are like a lot of beginner reading ones and like other chapter ones that like have different age groups that people can read.
So you wanted to have one of these little libraries, and so viewers have probably seen some, maybe in different communities where you live here in London, a little box. It'll be on a post outside somebody's house or just on a street, and inside it's just books that people can borrow, or they can just take them and keep them, and sometimes people drop books off as well. So what's in your little library?
Well, I have, like I said, I have like a lot of beginner reading books.
So did they used to be your books?
Yeah, they did. They used to be like my books when I was like, again, a beginner reader and like super tiny.
Yeah.
And from those books that my parents got me, I've learned to read more and bigger books. So then a lot of the ones that are in the library are in the age group of like probably 4 up to maybe my age, which is 11 right now.
And so you've seen people come pick up books and also drop off books, is that right?
Yes, I have.
So people donate books as well when they see a little library?
Yeah, most of the time. Sometimes other people usually just take a book because they don't have anything with them, or they would come back another day and drop off a book.
What a great idea. So somebody who loves having a little library, who took the initiative to help your dad build the little library that you have outside your house, you must be a great enthusiast for reading. So what is on your bookshelf right now? So what are you reading, Avery? Is there anything you could recommend to our viewers?
Well, I do recommend a book called The Train of Lost Things. It is very good if you like mysteries, because this one, as far as I got into read already, is like this guy, he was on the way back to visit his dad in the hospital, and he put a jean jacket that his dad got him a while back in his mom's suitcase, but then they found a hole in the suitcase and someone either took it or it fell out somewhere. So he's just keep on panicking and trying to like find his jacket.
All right, so we won't spoil, we won't say any more.
I won't say any more.
Okay, awesome. So recommendation from an expert. Thank you so much, Avery, and thank you for what you're doing for the community, because that is just, well, that's Avery. I think we met you when viewers met you last year too. You were baking cookies for people that were, alone in the neighborhood, and now you're bringing the gift of reading to the neighbors as well. So thank you so much, Avery. Thanks also for tuning in today. Thank you to our first guests, Mary and Kim from London Senior Games. We hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we hope you tune in again next week for more LDN ONT TV here on Rogers TV.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
These days at your local Legion, we're marching to the beat of a different drum. On a mission to support veterans, to have fun, and to welcome everyone to our ranks. You don't have to be a veteran to join the Legion. And as a member, you'll join thousands of others serving our veterans, our communities, and our country. Oh yeah, and our Member Perks program will save you thousands on shopping, dining, products, and services across the country. Join us at legion.ca.
Monday. Pollinating Purpose is a new show all about supporting organizations seeking to have social impact in the work that they do. Whether nonprofit, for-profit, or social enterprise, grassroots organization, you'll learn key considerations to starting or growing your social purpose business in a long-term and sustainable way. Pollinating Purpose on Rogers TV.
You're watching Rogers TV.
Good evening, and welcome to tonight's Doc Talks presentation in Women's Health, the importance of breast cancer screening. My name is Michelle Campbell, President and CEO of St. Joseph's Healthcare Foundation. We have hundreds of people signed in from all over the region tonight. Thank you for joining us. Tonight's presentation is part of our Doc Talk series featuring leading physicians and researchers at St. Joseph's Healthcare London. These health discussions were created to give our community valuable insights into how medical experts at St. Joseph's are tackling the pressing health issues of our time. Before we begin, I'd like to thank our corporate sponsors, CIBC and Seabrook Financial Group at CIBC Wood Gundy, for making tonight's presentation possible. We are incredibly grateful to CIBC for supporting the Doc Talk series, which enables us to share informative and relevant health information with you and your family. A couple of quick housekeeping items. Please note tonight's presentation is being recorded. In case you missed parts of the presentation or you'd like to share it with family and friends, it can easily be accessed along with all of our other previous Doc Talks presentation by visiting our website. And of course, we are sharing this presentation in a virtual online format. And as we all know, technology can sometimes be challenging. So if a technical glitch occurs, we ask for your patience as we sort it out. I did also want to note that due to the nature of tonight's subject matter, tonight's presentation does feature some medical photography. We encourage you to ask any questions you have for tonight's presenter using the Q&A function, which can be found in the top right corner of your screen. We will set aside some time at the end to answer as many questions as we have time for. We know breast cancer is a complex disease that will affect 1 in 8 Canadians. So far this year alone, approximately 29,000 women and 300 men in Canada have received a breast cancer diagnosis. Tonight's speaker, Dr. Muriel Brackstone, will shed light on the importance of breast cancer screening and diagnosis, and more specifically, how you can become your own health advocate. Dr. Brackstone is a surgical oncologist and founding medical director for the breast care program here at St. Joseph's Hospital. She is also an associate scientist at Lawson Health Research Institute. In addition to completing 2 master's degrees in science and a PhD, Dr. Brackstone created the London Tumor Biobank, an important resource in the collection of specimens to enable scientific collaboration with other scientists to advance research innovation in breast cancer treatment. We're so proud of the work that Dr. Brackstone does here at St. Joseph's and in our community, and we're very fortunate to have her with us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Muriel Brackstone.
Thank you, Michelle, and thank you to the St. Joseph's Foundation for inviting me. I'm delighted to have the opportunity to speak to all of you. And as Michelle had mentioned, at the end of this session, I am open to all sorts of questions, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have regarding breast health. And really, I must say that this discussion tonight is in part thanks to the advocacy of a friend of mine who I was pleased to get to know, whose name is Carla Van Kessel. And Carla, I'll introduce briefly, was an incredibly bright, hardworking mom of 2 young boys, a librarian, and a very strong health advocate. And she had been having routine Pap tests and had certain pelvic symptoms and started to have some concerns, went to numerous physicians, continued to go back, but because she'd had a screening test that was pretty normal, there were no concerns to continue to do more testing, and things progressed and progressed, and ultimately she was unfortunately diagnosed with metastatic cervical cancer. This is Carla during her treatment time, and you can see here a healthy, strong woman who continued to run marathons even during chemotherapy. And part of her advocacy work during all of that time was to increase awareness about health, how women should not be dismissed when they have concerns, and that women should have access to as many preventative opportunities, preventive treatments, as well as screening tests that they should be entitled to. And for cervical cancer, that included HPV vaccination. And not all women are currently eligible or able to receive HPV vaccination, but in part thanks to Carla's strong advocacy work, I understand it's coming down the pipeline that it's going to be increasingly available for women to prevent this cancer. And thankfully for cervix, that's something that's almost entirely preventable with a vaccine. Additionally, because the vaccine causes cancer by chronically irritating the cells, one of the screening tests available is to actually look at the cells to see if they have the virus in them. And that is a screening test. And we're going to talk a lot about the difference between a screening test and a diagnostic test. But really, the purpose of that is to identify women who might be at increased risk and offer additional tests for them. So for cervix, if there are any changes, that would be colposcopy. And for breast, it would be a number of other tests that I'm going to describe. But really, one of the take-home messages that Carla wanted to disseminate to women at large is that a screening test is not a diagnostic test. And so for cervix, for breast, for a number of other conditions, if you have a symptom, having had a normal screening test isn't enough. And so it's important to recognize that, bring that forward to physicians, and continue to advocate for your health until all of those concerns can be addressed. Unfortunately, Carla passed away from her metastatic cervical cancer, and I really want to continue to support her advocacy work. And I want to show you how, even though that's a different disease site, there are important lessons that can be learned for breast cancer as well. And so for today, I wanted to talk about some of the common benign breast conditions. And the reason is that even though we see a lot of breast cancer at St. Joseph's Hospital, we see even more benign breast disease, and it's a really common concern. And so I want to demystify some of that, and also just to explain what are the normal procedures that we go through, because oftentimes when we do tests for benign disease, we triage patients and we see the cancers first, and we know really through the testing that it's probably nothing, but the patients don't know that. And so sometimes I think we do a disservice to women by seeing the more urgent cases first and forget to recognize that patients that have benign conditions, concerns that they brought forward, they don't know yet that they don't have cancer. And so that's really something that we need to do better. But I'm hoping by informing some of this information that we can increase the knowledge and that people can understand what the processes are around some of the different breast diagnoses. I want to review for breast, what are the screening tools? So what's old, what's new, what's coming, what can you expect? And really, again, to differentiate between a screening test and a diagnostic test. And this is something I see physicians get into a lot of trouble having concerns, having missed diagnoses in patients because they forgot this fundamental difference. I want to review a little bit about breast imaging reports so that you can see what comes in a report and what to look for. And then a brief overview if you are unfortunately diagnosed with a breast cancer, sort of in general terms, what you can expect and what's new. And then most importantly, how to advocate for yourself. So some of the most common benign breast conditions that we see, even more so than cancer, are the following four: a breast infection, nipple discharge, breast pain, and benign breast masses, which are really common. So in brief, breast infections can be infection of the whole breast. So when we think of that, we think of a big swollen red breast. And if you Google that online, the first thing you're going to see is inflammatory breast cancer and how scary that is. And so I wanted to remind you that actually people, even while breastfeeding, but also when they're not breastfeeding, or sometimes even after menopause can have infections of the breast that look red and swollen. And so it doesn't necessarily mean an inflammatory cancer. What's important about that is that you see your family physician, they'll start you on antibiotics, and usually they go away quite quickly. If it goes away except one spot, sometimes there's a little abscess there, they'll do an ultrasound and you can drain it with a needle and continue your antibiotics. If it doesn't go away, that's when we want to do some breast imaging and make sure it isn't this really more rare form of breast cancer. Infections of the breast are more commonly attributed to women that smoke, ironically, and often women who smoke have little abscesses that form along the edge of the areola, and so that's something to bear in mind. Other conditions such as diabetes, having had an injury to the area, or nipple piercing also increase the risk. Nipple discharge is another really common problem, and I think that we probably don't say enough that in most women that especially have had children or that have had an episode of breastfeeding, if they squeeze their nipple, some discharge will come out. And it's just some residual fluid in the milk ducts. And so the problem is that it causes some alarm. And sometimes if they squeeze extra, it can cause a little bit of injury to the duct on the inside. It might bleed a little bit, which looks even more alarming, which causes women to check again, and you check and there's more discharge and it continues to perpetuate. When in actuality, the only concern with nipple discharge that we have is if it leaks on its own. So particularly on one side, particularly one duct, if it's continuing to leak on its own of any color really, we get worried about that. And that we want to do some imaging for. And we'll talk about what diagnostic imaging that we do. These are almost all benign, particularly if it's bloody nipple discharge. It's usually little polyp of the milk duct, what we call a papilloma. We often just cut that little duct out, easy to heal, problem is solved. But we want to make sure that it isn't often a precancer, that'd be the most likely thing, and even that is really, really rare. So the most useful thing if there's nipple discharge is to do a mammogram and make sure there isn't any precancer change. And if there isn't, then we often cut that duct out because it's annoying. Breast pain is really common, particularly I think in women in their early 40s. I would say maybe a few years before the hormones are starting to cycle irregularly and you're starting to head into menopause. And before that time, I think that even though women are having periods, their hormones are probably a little bit all over the place, and it causes a bit of chaos in the breast tissue and causes some pain. Sometimes it can be only one side. It doesn't have to be both sides. It can be in conjunction with periods, so on a monthly basis, or it can be all the time on one side for no reason. We really don't understand it very well. We're not really good at treating it. But what's important is that we do a mammogram and make sure we don't see anything else of concern. We add an ultrasound if it's on one specific area, and then we treat the symptoms. If it's related to cycles, we often will interrupt the cycles with hormone tablets, almost like oral contraceptives, without a break, and then that seems to settle the breast pain down. And if it doesn't, then we have other measures such as chronic pain clinics where we try different treatments. Sometimes even just supportive bras and anti-inflammatories are enough. The other more common presentation is a breast lump. And I think that it's challenging for some women who have very lumpy breast tissue to differentiate between benign lumps and problematic lumps. And you might have had a benign lump before, but then you have a new lump, and how can you tell, etc. And so I want to talk about some of these things, what we should be concerned about and what we should do and how we can diagnose to put these issues at rest. But I think the most important thing is if you find something new, bring it to the attention of your family physician. And that's the most helpful thing, to document what it is, and then it can be assessed and followed serially to make sure that you get some resolution. Things to look for when we're worried about breast cancer would be a new lump. So in the guidelines for screening, they say that women don't need to check their breasts every month. And while we found in big trials that it didn't seem to make a difference if women did self-checks or didn't do self-checks, really when we charged women with finding cancers, adding the self-check didn't seem to make a difference to overall survival, but it is really helpful to know what is lumpy and where your lumps are and kind of know your own self. Because then if there's something that you happen upon, you'll know that that's different and that tweaks you to seek some attention. And I think that's important because then it's part of self-advocacy to say, this is new, it wasn't like this before. And it might still end up being benign, but it might also be a concern. And in this way, we can resolve it. And so to know any new lump, to see the contour of the breast, does it change the skin over it? Does it change the nipple shape? Does it cause some dimpling? Does it cause leaking of the nipple? Is there redness over it or any other skin change? So any of these findings would be something that would be important to bring to your doctor's attention. So when you go to your family physician, they're going to want to know these. These are what we consider to be the risk factors for breast cancer. So it really, when you're calculating these findings out, the family physician's trying to decide, okay, well, what is the likelihood? Or what are we talking about? Is this somebody really at high risk? Or is it someone who's not at high risk? And so to know that, we want to know how many times does this person cycle through hormone fluxes every month? Did they start their menses early? Did they go through menopause late? Did they not have any pregnancies in between, so no breaks? And for all of those years, the cycles of hormone up and down and up and down, and that probably increases your risk to some degree. Additionally, having had children late or not having chosen or not been able to breastfeed, those are things that really just speak to, again, a longer period of uninterrupted cycling. Similarly, using hormone therapy, particularly after menopause, some forms of them seem to be associated with a slight increased risk of developing breast cancer, usually during the time that you're actually on it. More importantly, family history. So by family history, we mean young onset. So particularly if you have a first or second degree relative that developed breast cancer before the age of 50, or serous ovarian cancer, or multiple family members, those are things that we want to know. Actually having had radiation, usually for Hodgkin's lymphoma, included radiation to the chest, having had that at a young age also does increase the risk. And having had previous breast surgery or previous biopsies, really mostly because it means that something was active, there were changes going on, there was probably a lot of activity, and that's what increases the risk over time. What the doctor wants to know about the lump really is the characteristics of it. So that's why it's helpful to know when it's new, because you can say, this is new this month. I just noticed this, and we have an idea of how long it's been there for. The size of it, where it's located, does it change? So often women will have cysts in their breasts, and cysts by themselves do not increase your risk of breast cancer. They don't mean anything, they don't turn into anything, but they're lumpy. And so it's challenging to diagnose and sort. So this lump may in fact be just a cyst. It may come and go or fluctuate with your period, and that will be reassuring. And one of the things that the family doctor or physician can do is then aspirate it. It collapses down, your lump is gone, we knew it was a cyst, problem solved. Knowing about any swelling or pain or changes to the contour of the breast is really helpful to give us an idea. Similarly with the skin changes, so knowing if it's red, knowing if there's any nipple discharge, all of the things that we talked about, and your general health. All of those things your family doctor will want to know. And then during a breast examination, these are the things that we want to look for on an exam. If your family physician doesn't do a breast examination, then you might need to find a new family physician, because that's an important part of your health, and that should be something that everybody feels comfortable doing. And in doing so, then it's a second person, not just you, assessing this area to say, yeah, I agree, this is really lumpy. Or I can't find it. Where is this spot? It feels to me really normal. So that in itself is really reassuring. But a single focal hard lump that isn't kind of an extension of ropiness throughout the breast tissue, and it just stays kind of in that area of the gland, it might change the shape of the breast, it might retract or thicken the skin. All of those things are worrisome. This is an algorithm, not that I need you all to know it, but I wanted to show just to illustrate that there are a number of different ways that a breast lump might be targeted, and particularly for young people. So women in their teens and 20s will often get cysts or these hard solid lumps that are completely benign called fibroadenomas. And they can grow or fluctuate in size, but they don't turn into cancer. And so one of the ways to rule out a cyst is just to aspirate it. Put a little needle, you suck out the fluid, and then you're done. If it's solid, it won't suck out the fluid, so then you want to do some pictures. So remember, a screening mammogram is just the look with the mammogram that we'll talk about, but the diagnostic test to work up this lump includes an ultrasound. So if women are young, they're less than 30, say, you know what, it's probably a cyst, it's probably these fibroadenoma, let's just go straight to the ultrasound. If that's what it is, we'll go right on there, yep, that's what I thought, then we're done. If it's not that, then we do the mammogram. So a woman under 30 might still end up with a mammogram, just not first. If women are older than 30, we say, okay, well, you know, there really could be something worrisome there. Let's just do both straight off the hopper, we'll waste less time. So they'll end up with a mammogram and an ultrasound. But I wanted to show you that the mammogram by itself might not be completely sensitive to catch a cancer. And that depends on the density of the breast tissue, which we'll talk about. But the more dense, the whiter the image, and then it's like a cloud. So you can't see anything because you can't see anything. But that doesn't mean something's not there. And so you have to do an additional test. But when you look at the mammogram and an ultrasound together, particularly for a lump, because you know where to put that ultrasound right away. So it's not like you're guessing and looking around. You put the ultrasound right where you can feel the lump. And if that's normal, then you know that you're okay. And in combination, it's almost 100% sensitive. So oftentimes when a family physician feels something or wants to put you at ease because you felt something, they'll order the diagnostic assessment. A diagnostic assessment for breast is not just a mammogram, it's a mammogram and an ultrasound of that area. And if those together are normal, we often now will send a letter back to the family doctor to say, we didn't see anything. Re-examine your patient. If you continue to be worried, you should send that patient to a surgeon. So that's not to say never and it's resolved. It's to say there's nothing. And so the likelihood now is a fraction of a percent. Not zero, but a fraction of a percent. So then to bring it down to zero, check again. And if that, whatever that lumpiness went away, everything is good, the mammogram and ultrasound are good, we're good. But if that concern exists still, then we want to hear about it. And so we expect a family physician then to send the referral, and the surgeon can do the exam. And this would be a specialist who has had extra training in breast surgery and breast examinations and is comfortable to make that final determination if there's anything suspicious or not. When should we be worried? We should be worried if on the pictures there's something suspicious. And if there's something suspicious, then we need to do a biopsy. We need to take a sample, find out for sure so that we can make a plan to get rid of it. We also will be worried if there's a lump. So we sent the pictures were normal, but the lump persisted. So that's where we say to the family doctor, we don't know. We didn't see this patient before they had their imaging. So I'm not sure, but I absolutely want you to check, because if you remain concerned, that's good enough for me. I need to see this person and just to make sure that, and sometimes if there's this mismatch, what we call discordance, we end up taking that little lump out anyway. So you know what? There's one real way to find out, and that's to cut it out. But we don't want to do that to people if we don't have to. If people have a bloody cyst and it continues to reaccumulate, that's another thing to say, well, maybe there's a fluidy type of problem growing, and that we need to cut that area out. Of course, if the biopsy is done and it comes back abnormal, then that we need to treat. Or if the biopsy is normal and it doesn't match with our examination or our pictures, then we worry about that too, because we did the biopsy, it showed nothing, but the imaging looked suspicious. And so that again is discordant, not matching. And so we're going to cut that piece out anyway, just to be really sure. In summary, articulate your concerns. We want to know if there's something that you're worried about. The best way to resolve that is to actually know what specifically are you worried about? Which part are you worried about? How do we look at it? And so I've had issues where the lawyers have reached me for an opinion to say, what do you think about how this case was managed? And sometimes the request was done appropriately, the mammogram was ordered appropriately, the ultrasound was ordered, but the concern was not articulated. And so the radiologist didn't know that the family doctor was actually really worried, so they didn't do the ultrasound because they didn't realize it was a diagnostic request. And so it's important to say what it is you're concerned about so that we can actually say, well, we're actually worried about this lump. Can you look here at this 5 o'clock radiant? Look here. And if you say here, there's nothing, then I'm going to recheck. And if on examination, yeah, actually, no, it feels okay, then we're good. If not, I'm not going to let it go. What if you had a normal mammogram? So this was really the scenario that Carla found herself in from a cervix perspective. You had a normal screening test, then you find some abnormal symptoms, and you say, well, I just had a normal test. It can't be that. It can't be a breast problem because I just had a normal mammogram, and that's actually not true. And the problem with screening tests is they can't be 100% accurate, because to be 100% accurate, you have to look at everything. So you would have to put everybody through a mammogram, an ultrasound, maybe an MRI, biopsies. You would have all sorts of what we call false positives. So you would put people through all sorts of procedures, excisions, biopsies to prove it was nothing. And we don't want to do that for everybody. That's completely normal. So you have a screening test that's not 100%, but it catches most of the things that are early or percolating or warrant further investigation. That's the purpose of a screening test. So it's not that it failed its job. It's that its job is just to tweak you to additional testing required. The diagnostic piece of it is to then take that and run with it. And so to say, look, this mammogram isn't completely normal, it needs further investigation, it needs a diagnostic component. So if it shows up as a lump, the diagnostic component is to do an ultrasound. And the ultrasound, if it's not completely normal, would then lead to a biopsy or an MRI. If it shows a low calcium flex, but there's no lump growing, then the mammogram would prompt further what we call magnification views, extra squish, and or a biopsy. So if I can leave you with one take-home message, it's to say that while screening tests are absolutely useful in saving lives and identifying lumps or problems that are really small at the early stage where we can readily fix them, they aren't by themselves the cure-all to solving the question, is there a problem there? If someone presents with a complaint or a symptom or finding, then that requires other tests, including ultrasound, and if the concern remains, a referral to a breast surgeon. So what are the tests that we do now? There's a few things that are new. So the old standard fare is the mammography, and I'll show you a picture of that. And now we're moving increasingly to tomosynthesis or 3D mammography. So that's when you take multiple pictures and you layer them on yourself, and you can scroll through and create a 3D image that the machine builds for the radiologist. Or contrast enhanced mammography. So that's when you take IV contrast, similarly to when you have a CT scan, and then the contrast lights up all the blood flow. So all of a sudden you see a mammogram with all the blood activity, with the thought that increased blood activity is going to signal something where something is more active than it should be. Breast ultrasound, we'll talk about that as being an integral part of the breast diagnostic assessment. The breast MRI and its role. And then I also want to mention thermography that patients ask me often a lot about. I want to remind you that while breast cancer is being now increasingly cured and the survival and long-term outcome continues to improve, it remains the leading cause of cancer death worldwide and the most common cancer diagnosis in women. So you can see that both in terms of diagnosis and in terms of cause of death. In men, it represents a fraction. So it's 0.2% of new diagnoses of cancer in men and 0.1% of cancer-related deaths. So a screening mammography, as mentioned, is useful in people who have no symptoms. So nothing is wrong, you don't feel a lump, you have no concern, you're just doing it because you know that when you find something, you're going to go present your complaint or your concern, and then you're going to have it worked up. But while it's too small to be found, you're counting on the screening mammography to highlight if you need extra tests for diagnosis. And the value of this is catching it at the early stage when the cure rates are fantastic and the amount of surgery that you need for a small thing is tiny. And then the cosmetic outcome is good. And then usually you avoid chemotherapy. So not just do you catch it early, but you avoid a lot of the grief of treatment that we have to put people through when they're diagnosed at a later stage. You can see that the introduction of OBSP or Ontario Breast Screening Program mammograms made in terms of reducing cancer-specific or breast cancer-specific deaths. And so this is really information that I find useful when women come concerned about the mammogram, which is technically an X-ray. So it's a low dose focal X-ray just to the breast tissue itself. And if you've been through a mammogram, you put one plate on one side and one plate on the other side, and you squish. And the radiation field goes through that. The amount of radiation that tissue receives is tiny in relation to the amount of radiation we get by walking on the Earth's crust every day, or taking a short flight to Toronto would be much more radiation by being closer to the sun than you would get from a screening mammogram. And the mammogram offers obviously a lot more benefit in detecting something really early. Having said that, we have to put a lot of people through mammograms in order to be able to prevent one death. So we say, you maybe have to put 1,000 women through a mammogram for one woman to have benefited in terms of avoiding death because of the mammogram. So what we know or feel comfortable is that we're not getting side effects from the radiation because of the mammogram that we're doing based on such a low dose, and the fact that women who are screened